In England, you can get away with just talent alone, but coming from South Africa is not easy to make it as a professional rider. And Greg understood that.
You don't achieve that sort of level without working at anything.
His motivation was contagious.
You're not just gifted with the ability to fly through the air. You've got to practice it a bit.
My name's Greg Illingworth. I'm 34 years old. I live in Hastings, England, and I'm from Johannesburg, South Africa. Digging in the winter, you'd think it really sucks, but I actually really enjoy it.
The other day I looked on Instagram, it was 10 to 6 in the morning and he's on his road bike going to stick the trails. He's just a workaholic.
Growing up, I tried to build trails, but it never really worked out. They welcomed me in as long as you want to ride the trails, help out, do a little digging, so I started doing that. I kind of realized that the trails have the potential to become anything. I can build anything that I want to ride. That's the thing with trails, is there's never an end to making it better. Every single line can always be made better, and I love it.
BMX has changed Greg's life. He loves it, and I think all he's doing is he's just sharing his passion for BMX with other generations, whether it's old or young.
It may sound a bit cheesy, but I've just gained so much from BMX that I feel like if I can give that to anyone else, then I need to. Boys, boys, boys. All right, all right.
Girl, boy, young, old, he just loves seeing people on bikes.
So if you do that one first, you do that one next. Yeah, this way, around the curve wall. People, for whatever reason, end up in bad situations or with difficulties. And whenever that's happened to me in my life, BMX has helped. So you gotta just let them fall though, because it's the best way they learn. There's only so many times you can tell them what to do until eventually it's like, you're gonna fall if you do that, you're gonna fall if you do that, you're gonna fall if you do that. Eventually it's like, oh, you fell. Whoa, dude! Oh, mate! Are you okay, bud? I can see a kid struggling, and I can tell it in 5 minutes he's probably just gonna turn around and walk away, and that's him done with the bike. He may never touch a BMX again, but I can literally show him one tiny little thing, like put your feet level and you'll drop in. And he does it, boom. He's having fun that day. The next minute, that kid's like riding his bike for potentially the rest of his life. And it can be something so simple like that that can make such a huge difference. Yes! Nice! I've seen kids change in 1 hour. Like a kid will come in, will be too scared to say a word, can barely ride a bike. At the end of the session, he's cruising around the park, shouting at his parents, like, look at me, look at me. And you know, it's just, that's cool to see. Everyone that lives in a long winter needs like a good week or two of heat. For this last trip to South Africa, the guys that came with, whenever I've seen them and ridden with them, it's been rad. I enjoy their vibe, I enjoy their energy.
Hosted.
When they said they wanted to come, I was like, yes, you guys, let's go. It was so sick to take these riders to these spots because I was almost like showing them off. You know, I was like, look at these spots South Africa has.
Greg was also a great rider to shoot with because he went high and made it look so good. He'd just say, yep, come in, and you'd know he was coming and he was going to do it. He's also quite short as well, which makes stuff look bigger. Some riders don't help you with photography. They can see you turning up with loads of flashes and your pursuit to take a better picture is a burden to them, whereas for Greg, he'd be invested in the photography as much as the riding.
When you're filming BMX videos, you really work closely with the filmers. You've got to trust them and they've got to trust you, otherwise it's pointless. Nice to have someone shooting that's kind of laid back like that, not stressing too much. And that's what Andrew was like. You don't want to be riding your bike and stressing about the guy filming, you know? That's not cool.
He knows more than anyone the impact of having international riders come to a place like South Africa.
Riding the Hout Bay skate park was unreal. We had a lot of kids down there that had never seen people ride BMX like that before, and some of them never ridden BMXs before, and they were just buzzing. And then see like how the foreign riders, how that experience impacted them, you know, just meeting those kids that maybe have never had a lot of the privileges that they've grown up with. They were checking us out, they're calling their friends out, bringing everyone over, you know, taking it all in. And it felt like we got so much out of that day. I love going back to South Africa. Any chance I get, obviously most importantly is just seeing family. I've got to come all the way to South Africa to get Mom's cooking, which is just the best.
We try and all get together in December. There are so many of the kids, I mean, but we all do try to get together in December. And I'm not visiting him in Hastings. He's on the 5th level or something. I'm not climbing up those stairs. No ways.
I've always been tight with my family, so living away from them really sucks.
Well, I have many happy memories of eating at this table.
Almost every single dinner I had for the first 14 years of my life was at this table. I think about my childhood a lot because I can't imagine it having been any better, to be honest. My brother was only 2 years older than me, so we just basically just played outside constantly.
The relationship between those two boys was phenomenal. They were great kids, you know, very, very active. People used to think they were hyperactive, but they weren't. They weren't hyperactive. They were just extremely active and happy.
Having a brother that was as into BMX as I was like just perfect. Like you just had a best friend and someone to ride with all the time.
They realized what was out there and the lack of opportunity for people in South Africa.
I thought if I didn't do it, I would always regret it.
I was sad. I was sad and I wept when each of them left. But that's life. He couldn't have done better here, so he had to go where he was challenged.
I was looking to buy a place. Hastings was affordable, loads of BMX riders, loads of stuff to ride, good scene, and I've never lived by the coast, and this was a cool little seaside town. This year it was like so much effort over the winter and so many months of not being allowed to ride. So when we finally got to ride and I jumped the line, I was just like, oh my God. The satisfaction is like almost immeasurable. It's kind of like, well, that's it. That was it. don't need much to make it a perfect day at the trails. A fire, a braai, and then an evening session when the sun's going down. That's as good as it gets. A bit of music, a couple of beers, good times, that's it.